Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Amisha.
Hi, this is Gayatri, and welcome to another episode of Here Goes Everything with Us. Today, we are joined with a fellow AI enthusiast because we are going to talk about all things AI. And he's somebody who has worked and who has researched about AI, and he plans to work in the field. And he's also a good friend of mine. And I am so excited to have him on the podcast. So, hi, Yajurv.
हाय
Welcome.
हाय गायत्री हाय अमीशा कैसे चल रहा है
ठीक ही चल रहा है.
Good, good. You know kaisa chal raha hai.
बढ़िया चल रहा है
So, Yajurv, you have researched about a lot of things, right? And a lot of things about AI, and you've done your master's in the same field. And would you like to tell us about what you've studied, what you plan to work on, and etc.?
श्योर मेरी मास्टर्स की डिग्री रिसेंटली कंप्लीट हुई है रिसर्च बेस्ड प्रोग्राम था बेसिकली माय रिसर्च वाज बेस्ड ऑन गेट इमोशन रिकग्निशन व्हिच मींस figuring out what emotions people are feeling based on the way they walk.
Oh,
And
interesting.
that was the job of the AI that I was working on. Yes. So basically मैंने एक AI बनाया था that would do this stuff.
Okay, but how
In
do
a
you
nutshell.
figure out people's emotions with the way they walk?
So basically my research was based on previous research
Okay.
which figured out that there's a relation between how people walk and the emotion they're feeling. So essentially when they're, or at least they're perceived to be sad when they walk with their head tilted down and they take small steps. If you're happy, you tend to take larger strides. So yeah, everything matters. Cadence, length of step, the space that you use around your body, in your upper body, that kind of stuff. So my AI would essentially analyze how those things are changing and then figure out what emotion you are feeling based on that.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So, like, going back to the beginning, what was it that pulled you, or what was it that made you want to pursue AI or machine learning?
It would be I think मेरी fascination with AI started in third year bachelor's ki. And I did this project called image colorization. It was essentially a neural network that would colorize a grayscale image. So the input was a black and white image, and it would figure out what colors to put where in that image. And that seemed fascinating to me because like all of science is fascinating. You make some observations, and it goes against your previous beliefs. And then you're like, what's happening? And then you try to figure it out.
Nice.
That's what hooked me. I mean, this wasn't just like a one-off thing. It grew over time. कभी भी ऐसा नहीं होता कि एकदम एक यही कहानी से ही शुरू हो गया.
Yeah.
मतलब that started it, and then I got into it more and more.
Nice. Pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, Yajur, when was the first time you got introduced to AI? Like, if I talk about myself, if I'm allowed to answer my own question first.
As good podcasters do, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
अरे बोल
Yeah.
बोल.
So, so I got introduced to the whole universe, the whole concept of AI through this movie called Her, right? And I think that film depicts a future where AI is very advanced, right? It's like extremely advanced, and Theodore, the lead character, he would fall in love with the AI, right? He would, like, they were basically in a relationship, and it felt like they don't even need a human body. I mean, you would think that AI would replace jobs and AI would just take away people's job, but AI was actually taking the place of a human in a personal relationship way as well. I think that was something that was very fascinating for me, and just the fact that it could depict human emotions so much.
हाँ, definitely वो वाली like we don't have AIs like that right now, like that capture the nuances of like that well, captures the nuances of human emotions and speech that well. We still don't have that kind of an AI, that advanced AI, but we might have it eventually, because
Yeah.
that's how it's
Yeah.
been. Like in AI research, if you look back into research in AI, that's essentially how it went. Like they would figure out what's wrong with the current model. Essentially, that's research. Like, kya explain kar raha hu. But they would figure out what's wrong with the current model.
Yeah.
They would come up with a new way to fix that problem. They will make a new type of network or new algorithm that incorporates their idea, and then it becomes better over time. So I think they will eventually do this. Abhi, I recently saw a video. Just a person was talking about AI and how it cannot figure out how to draw hands still. Like it can draw a lot of stuff, but it still doesn't know how to draw hands. And he was explaining why the AI is so bad at it. Well, basically, that's like an inherent problem with large models right now. Like you need a lot of data to teach it. Hands और मतलब जितने कॉम्प्लेक्स हैंड्स हैं उतने ज़्यादा इमेजेस नहीं है उनके पास उसको स्टडी करने के लिए. और मे बी दे डिडंट ट्रेन ऑन दैट मेनी इमेजेस. उनके पास होंगी बट उन्होंने यूज़ नहीं किया. आई डोंट नो. ऑल्सो उस बंदे ने बताया था लाइक देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड अ बायस. लाइक हमें पता है उंगलियां कैसे दिखनी चाहिए क्योंकि हमें पता है कि उनके क्या फंक्शंस हैं और वो हाथ पे कैसे कनेक्टेड हैं, कौन से जॉइंट्स कैसे कनेक्टेड हैं. सो वी कैन मतलब मोस्ट ऑफ अस can draw the fingers in a sense that like we can capture where the fingers would be positioned, but AI cannot because it doesn't understand what fingers are. So that's the problem that we are facing right now in advancement in AI. But someone will figure it out. Someone will figure out how to teach AI to figure out what that thing actually is. उसकी AI की understanding improve करने के लिए कोई solution निकल आएगा. And then we'll get more advanced models.
Like, but for AI to be able to interact with humans like a human and feel like a human and everything, what do you think is required? Like, सिर्फ data मतलब data understand करने से हो जाएगा ये? Is that enough?
I think so, हाँ. क्योंकि I think recently audio में भी बहुत सारा काम हुआ है AI में. Like they have come up with models that can train on like 30 seconds of your voice and then replicate it.
Yeah.
And like they don't need anything else. They just need 30 seconds of your voice and they can replicate that voice.
Yeah.
And yes, tones, accents, pronunciations, मतलब ये सारी चीज़ों पे थोड़ा ध्यान देना पड़ता है. But they're pretty good right now. Like I saw this in a meme video. किसी ने ओबामा और ट्रम्प और इन सब की मीम वीडियो बनाई थी.
Yeah.
और इन सबसे फालतू बातें करा रहे थे. चिक-फिले के बारे में बातें करा रहे थे, I think. So, but that was impressive. Like it was really close to their voice. And I think like if you just want to make sure that like basically if you want to pass the Turing test is described as a computer not being able to a human not being able to distinguish between a computer and a human.
Okay.
So if that happens, then the computer passed the Turing test.
Okay.
So I think we're nearing that line, Abhi. Like we're very close to that line. Some people might be able to identify it, but only those who are like looking for flaws, who are deliberately looking to figure out कि ये AI है या नहीं. I'm pretty sure scams हो रहे हैं कि मतलब फोन कॉल आती है, बेटा पैसे डलवा दो बैंक में. ये हो रहे होंगे. Definitely scams हो रहे होंगे ये वाले.
Yeah, misuse तो होगा AI का जितना और एडवांस होता रहेगा. Like there will be people
Yes.
जो misuse करेंगे, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. वो regulations वगैरह, like government needs to step up a little bit now. All the governments. थोड़ी regulations होनी चाहिए. Like I'm all in for AI. I love it. मेरे को I root for it. But at the same time, like science doesn't give you good things. Science gives you explanation of how it works. The way you use it determines if it's good or not. So the way you use it should be regulated.
Right.
Right. And there was a whole conversation about AI and consciousness as well. Right?
Consciousness.
Yeah.
I'm
Did
not
you not
aware
hear
of
about
this.
it?
Oh, consciousness as in AI is alive, wala.
Hmm.
This AI is alive.
Yes, yes.
That's a very philosophical talk. Like you should start with what even is alive, and then you will never find the answer to that question.
What deep shit.
I'm not sure how to answer this. Kyunki they at a
Hmm.
life basically like how people perceive it exists only at a macro scale. Like थोड़ा ऊपर देखा जाए कि हाँ हम
Yeah.
humans हैं, animals हैं, plants हैं, ठीक है. But once you dig down, it's essentially like a bunch of cells working together to keep us alive, right? And sometimes if you dig a little more deeper, you'll see like single cellular organisms.
Hmm.
अगर ठीक है, most people will still classify that as a life, but then you uh, go to a point to a virus जो कि बस basically एक floating piece of RNA है जो कि interact
Yeah.
करता है तुमसे.
Hmm.
It's essentially physical and chemical interactions.
Yeah.
And like there is no clear line that you can draw between life and like alive and not alive. So
Yeah.
if consciousness depends on the fact that like there should be a person living,
Hmm.
I'm not sure if AI can be classified as consciousness. Like that the whole problem,
Of
there is a
course.
problem with this question. Like ये questions defined नहीं है अच्छे तरीके से. Like what is consciousness?
Hmm.
Before asking this question you need to define certain things.
Hmm.
But मैं ये बोल
Yeah.
सकता हूँ अभी कि AI basically at this stage has replicated human emotion, human language, human
Right.
creativity to a really good point. Like it replicates it very well, and it is able to come up with certain novel ideas within a range.
Hmm.
अगर तुम उसे
Yeah.
like if you'll train an AI on certain set of images, it's gonna learn stuff from it, and it will be able to create new stuff
Yeah.
within that range. अगर
Right.
तुमने उसको buses की image पे train किया है, it's gonna come up with a new bus. But तुम उस bus पे trained AI को बोलोगे कि ये मुझे mountains की photo दो, then it would be unable to do so.
Right. Hmm. So
So
AI
I
cannot think
don't
on
think
its
that's consciousness.
yeah.
I don't think that's consciousness, but sure, debatable because gray area इतना है. It's debatable.
Right. And also, like you were talking about how it cannot still draw hands and such intricate things, right? But you must have seen Instagram pic how it came up with these baby images of Harry Potter's characters. And not
Ooh,
just
yes.
Harry Potter, a lot of other characters as well, older versions of the current young Hollywood actors. So again, it's very close to just very close to real art. I mean, right? Like just taking away a lot of things that we would have dependent on like real people, basically.
Yes. Yep. So that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
you can make an AI for a specific purpose. I think the next step in AI, like in the advancement of AI, would be like combining these things and making just one AI do all of it.
Yeah.
Because we have models that can
Yeah.
come up like that can make images. We have models that can produce sound, make audio files that are essentially you talking, but it's not you, it's the AI.
Yeah.
They can make paragraphs, but we don't have that many AIs, or we don't have that many networks that can do like a multitude of these tasks.
Yeah.
It's still missing. I think that's where we will go soon. Like we'll start making models that can do everything or more than one thing.
Yeah. Yeah, like you and I were talking about how some of the jobs will be taken away, like the fluff articles, basically the kind
Yes.
of articles that are written on BuzzFeed and all of that. I mean, those jobs are definitely going to be taken away. But then we also discuss about how it's not something that is happening for the first time. Like ever since the beginning of time,
Yes.
new things came into existence, and then people had to up level and
Exactly.
upscale. So yeah, like I so there are a lot of people who even like they have tech technophobia, right? Just trying to learn new things about technology or trying to understand it or using it to their benefit, basically, right?
Yeah. I also think that it's like, even though AI will take away a couple of jobs, new jobs will be created. And I think people will adapt. I think many people are very scared that, especially artists, because there are many art generators, AI generators, and many content generators as well. Good ones, actually.
Yes.
And people are scared that these AI tools will take away their jobs, and I am like one of them, because my job is art, my job is content, and now AI can do all of that. But I don't think that I am as scared, because I think there will be more opportunities, there will be more jobs as well. I think it's inevitable, right? Like, things will come, things will be innovated, new things will come.
Yes.
So
There's also an argument against it. Like, kyunki, like I've seen someone, I don't know who he was. I saw this guy's video and he was saying, Ki, I want to consume art made by humans. I want to see and listen to art that has intention to
of
it,
course,
and not just like, that's what he said.
yeah.
Like that I want to consume art that has some intention behind it. I don't want to consume random garbage that was like spitted out by an AI.
Yeah, like, of course, the originality and the kind of creativity that humans can put into an art piece cannot be matched.
Right.
And of course, that will be there, but still, there will be people who will use AI now more and more, and not
Yes.
take help from humans, and not, yeah, not hire me to make their
Yeah.
social media posts or to make their posters and stuff, which is fine. But I think, yes, there are a set of people who will still, um, any day, let humans do
Yes.
the job.
Yep. Yeah, it all depends on their perception. Like,
Yeah,
how do they perceive art? Do they still consider this art? If they consider AI output an art,
yeah,
they will go for it.
yeah.
Depends on that. Yep.
So, Yajurv, you are a musician yourself. You uh, write songs, you play a few instruments. So, what do you feel about using AI in your songwriting process?
Uh,
Or have you used that?
First of all, I'm not that good with AI or music to make them work together. Secondly, I don't think AI has that the creative freedom that humans have, essentially. AI like, it's sort of bound by the things that it sees. As we are, just like humans, right? We grow up, हम अपने experiences के बारे में, like, whenever we write poetry and stuff, we write about our experiences, observations.
Yeah.
Whatever happens in our life affects us. Similarly, AIs के लिए, whatever happens in the training affects them. So they are limited by that. So
Yeah.
I think that's where it hasn't caught up yet with humans. Because there are so many ways to write a song, and AI knows how to replicate stuff right now, but it's not good enough to like write full-fledged songs right now. Also, कोई नया artist आता है, like, if there's a new artist that brings a new genre, like a completely new genre never heard before, that thing, like, humans can do that thing. I would expect a human to do that. AIs will not be able to do that. Like, just coming up with a new genre in and of itself.
Right.
At this stage, maybe in the future this changes. At this stage, they don't do that. Yes.
Yeah. And I think there are still like many businesses and people out there who are not leveraging AI to automate their business, or to like make the process better, like save time and stuff.
Yes.
Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think people have, some people are having trouble accepting this new era, or, yeah.
I think it's the same thing that we just talked about. It's like the fear of technology, which is justified, but then it's the thing that you fear something if you don't understand it.
Right.
Right? That's essentially what it is. So I think like people need to get more like they need to figure out things by themselves a little bit more, like try to improve their understanding of what's happening right now,
Yeah,
and maybe they'll get more comfortable with that idea, and I hope they do, because that's going to help their business.
exactly.
I think one of the latest breakthrough moments of AI has been ChatGPT, just the introduction of ChatGPT and the rise of it.
Yep.
And I really don't think like that a tool like ChatGPT, the way it's used now, like there was no such thing that was used to this extent, like it's being used now, right? And so this third model, it was not, so this was a third model,
That came
right,
up.
that got launched a few
Yep.
months before. Yes, like we discussed. So yeah, they had two other models before that, and now there's ChatGPT 4.
Yes.
Everybody knows what's ChatGPT, everybody's using it, but what do you think there's still missing,
Ooh,
and
easy
that
specifics.
like that still needs improvement?
Yep.
Specifics.
So basically, if you add ChatGPT about general stuff, that like literally everyone knows, it's really good at like giving you an answer for that. If you ask ChatGPT for specific stuff, like something that's really specific to your like the problem that you're working on, you will not find it helpful. If it's like really specific, you will not find it helpful. So it's essentially like ChatGPT is essentially like a really like a kid who knows how to work Google, basically. If you start asking it research questions, if you start
Yeah,
asking it for like making logical deductions and stuff, then it's gonna fail.
yeah,
So it's still a good tool. Like it can do so much for you. Like you
yeah,
don't have to worry about a lot of stuff, but just go easy on it.
yeah,
Because if you make it work hard, it's not gonna give you the right answer. That's what's
Yeah.
that's what's missing right now.
yeah.
The
There are
specifics.
a couple of
If you
flaws.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
If you
like,
talk about details, then it's gonna fail.
yeah. So, like, I once asked ChatGPT to write an article and give me sources as well to a couple of like data that it had mentioned, and all the links were broken. All of the links were broken. I'm not sure why, um, but all of the links were broken, and it happened again and again. So I think they need to fix that. And
Yep.
another thing is that it cannot write poetry. It writes rhyming poetry, and it cannot write, like, of course,
Uh-huh.
like अच्छी level की poetry, like poets do.
Yes, that's the thing. Nah, it needs to understand words
Yeah,
like to that level to write that kind of a poetry.
yeah,
Also, OpenAI is a really powerful company. Like they know what they're doing. This all will get
yeah.
this all they will work on it. They will fix these issues. The thing is, kyoki it's like a really versatile model. There are like, because it has so many usages. Uh, it has a lot of places where it can fail, essentially. So you'll naturally see a lot of these problems right now.
Makes sense. Have you used
But they
GPT-4?
four no, क्योंकि मैं पैसे नहीं खर्च चुका.
Yeah, same.
3 I did, yes. That's yeah.
Right.
That's how I found out like specifics में problem होती है उसको. Because I was working on this, I was writing one of my papers, and there's a software called LaTeX which makes sure that all the papers are formatted correctly. You essentially write code so to make that paper. So I had some problem with the formatting of an image, and I asked ChatGPT to fix it for me, and it couldn't, because it's such a specific problem.
Yeah,
So yes, so that's how I figure out like this is a flaw right now, which will probably get fixed pretty soon.
So, also, Yajurv, if you had the resources to probably invent an AI tool, right? So, or just an app, what do you think that would be? that this is very specific to you?
Ooh. Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay, depends. Like, are you asking me personally, or are you asking me ki what would fly in this society?
Personally and for the world.
Acha.
Personally and for the world.
Okay. Um.
Whatever you think.
Personally, I think I would like to personally work on an AI that predicts and like understands the stock market, because I don't want to work
Hmm.
for money.
Hmm.
I want like
Hmm.
something to just make me money while I do other stuff that I'm
Yeah.
like really interested in. So, I can work on projects on the side.
Yeah.
That's which is this is never gonna happen. Like, this is such a complicated task that I have in my mind.
Hmm.
Maybe it will. Who knows? Let's
Hmm.
see. But
Yeah, because AI is also being used to predict things like earthquake aftershocks, and it's being used in healthcare industry
Mhm,
also for like so many reasons.
mhm.
So why would predicting this would be more difficult?
um, it predicting something, like difficulty of prediction basically changes with how complex that process is essentially. And so if you have certain variables, like कोई भी चीज है जैसे लाइक बारिश होगी आज या नहीं होगी, लाइक लेट्स ट्राई टू प्रिडिक्ट दैट, उसके कितने वेरिएबल्स हैं. If they have just like 2 or 3 variables, it's an easy problem to solve. Like, you can predict easily. But if it has a lot of variables, then it's hard to predict. And I think finance में, oh sorry, stock market में ये होता है. Like, there are a lot of variables. There's companies image, ट्विटर पे क्या चल रहा है, न्यूज़ में लोग कैसे बात कर रहे हैं, व्हाट वर द प्रीवियस ट्रेंड्स और द ओपनिंग एंड क्लोजिंग. there's a lot of variables there. That's why I think it's going to be tough. I'm not saying it's impossible. Right, so that's personally like that I'd like to make something like that.
Yeah.
um Society ke liye, I think something universal that like helps everyone, that stuff. I
Hmm.
guess
Of
I
course.
guess mental health may they can do something. Like, they can. No, actually, that's a risky. That's a risky area to put an AI in. Hmm. That's a tough question. I don't think I can answer that. There's like AI can do a lot of stuff, but then I at this stage I
Hmm.
would put in some regulations right now before
Yeah. There are
using AI
security
in the world.
concerns and stuff.
Yes. Right. So my answer for that question is no answer.
Good.
Also, like when you were talking about your research, where you were like understanding people's emotions based on how they walk. So I wanted to ask this that
Hmm.
then only that like what is the real life application of this thing? Like how can this AI be used or who will use this?
Yes. Um. So most of the applications are potential applications. Essentially, what you can do is you can use these in smart homes to figure out to like um. You can put this in smart homes and in like old age houses where people are prone to falling, and
Hmm.
you can maybe try to predict the fall by watching them walk. Like, or like if they are stumbling a little bit, if they don't feel, even if they don't feel good that day, like mentally, not just physically, you can detect that and maybe get them some help. So that's one. You can repurpose this research, and you can use this for evacuation. Like, so whenever a certain calamity happens,
Yeah.
there are people stuck there that need search and rescue or just rescue. You can assess the situation using some of these models.
Okay.
This is like a very this is a stretch. You have to like really repurpose this to do
Hmm.
that stuff, but it still helps. And then I had like 7 or 8 applications listed in my paper. I cannot think of one right now.
That's okay then.
But it essentially like the potential applications
Test
are
lady, Amisha.
essentially why. But applications basically they are based on They're based on repurposing it for other users.
Hmm.
They're like the really important applications. Yes. Oh, disease detect. Oh, like diagnosis के लिए भी use हो सकता है this. Now I'm beginning to remember it. Yes, diagnosis के लिए use हो सकता है for like diseases that affect the way you walk. They can use this to figure out what's wrong with you, and then you can use this for rehabilitation purposes. Like if someone went through like a leg trauma or something, they had some injury,
Yeah.
and they're trying to get back to walking. You can figure out if they're in pain or not. You can tune these exercises according to their comfort level, stuff like that.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And what was that conference that you attended in San Diego? Was this about the same thing or was it about something different?
Yes. So one of these researches was published in that conference. Yep. It was my second neural network that I made, which was also the one that was like, which was the final one. Like that was the neural network that we finally produced.
Okay, so like in your opinion, what is the most interesting breakthrough in the world of AI in the past couple of years, apart from ChatGPT, if you want to call that? Um,
Ooh.
yeah.
It's really hard to pick one. Because the thing is, like, this is how science works. Like, you stack something up over something that's already been done. Basically, Albert Einstein wouldn't have been able to come up with the theory of relativity if Newton didn't do his work. That kind of stuff. But if there are some important things or some important advancements in AI. I'd say the latest, one of the most recent ones, which is like figuring out context, is important in languages. So
Okay.
this might get a bit technical. There are these things called transformers. They are language models. They process language related stuff, right? And they recently figured out like the most one of the recent innovations was figuring out कि हमें language समझने के लिए context चाहिए होता है.
Okay.
Like if I say a sentence within a context, it might mean something else with a different context. So they incorporated that idea in transformers. I'd say one of the most recent innovations I think I like that one. That was really impressive. There are more there are more impressive ones out there. I think मैंने उनके बारे में या तो पढ़ा नहीं है या अभी मेरे दिमाग में नहीं आ रहे.
Also circling back to the movie Her, I just want to ask you, Yajurv, would you want to be in a relationship with an operating system like Samantha?
Personally, no.
Okay.
but I can see that happening. I think this is my personal take on it. I feel like this should be a human thing. Like relationships and falling in love and that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna stop people from doing it. It's just for me.
Of course.
It's for me. Like I wouldn't do it. That's my personal belief. That's it. Very like the justification behind it is essentially, it's essentially AIs have learned to replicate stuff. They really don't have like I would agree against that consciousness argument. Like they don't have consciousness right
Yeah.
now. They're replicating stuff very effectively.
Yeah. Yeah, there was this scene in the movie where the AI operating system, it disappears for a few days because it was under some kind of
Upgrade, huh?
upgrade, update, something like that. And Theodore was so devastated with Samantha gone. And when she comes back, they have a conversation and he asks her whether she is talking to somebody else as well. And she says, of course, I'm talking to 1,000 other people right now.
Yep.
Which was shattering for him. And that's why I think I agree. Like, you really cannot, like, even I cannot think of being in a situation and a relationship like that. Right? What
Yeah,
about you,
same.
Anisha?
I would need that in-person thing, right? I would be friends with an AI like Samantha, but I would not date an AI.
Yes. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah, like initially when ChatGPT was so new, I used to tell Amisha I tried to become
Yes.
best friends with
But
ChatGPT.
okay,
That was
did you guys
weird.
hear about like ChatGPT writing itself or like changing its own code? Did you hear about that?
No, no.
Apparently someone did this, like they made a plugin
Okay.
for ChatGPT which essentially allows ChatGPT to change its own code. This is interesting because it's essentially evolution of that AI. So it's not possible, right? Like right now हम जो discussion कर रहे हैं, it makes sense right now
Yeah.
with this technology, but it's going to change. Like if an AI can write itself, it's gonna evolve based on, like, that's when you have to study the evolution part of it. I'm not talking about computer science, like evolution, like Darwin wali theory
Yeah.
को use करना पड़ेगा.
Hmm.
You'll have to figure out what the AI will try to make itself into
Yeah.
based on the environmental factors or based on the fitness parameters that you have. So
Yeah.
eventually I think it's possible to have an AI that people would consider conscious, but not right now. And maybe when people start considering them to be conscious beings, they'll probably start dating them too.
You never
They'll probably
know.
start doing other stuff before they start dating them. But yeah.
Honestly, like with the rise of deep fake technology as well, like you said, no, that
Hmm.
this AI could recognize Obama's and Trump's and everybody's voices, but
Hmm.
not just voices. There are AIs that can also with just your picture, and they can make it seem like that picture is talking, and you just give the
Yes.
script and they will say the exact those things, and the lip sync will
Yes.
be similar, but it won't be
Hmm.
perfect. But there are certain technologies that are doing it.
Hmm.
Do you think it's scary?
Yes. Politically and socially, yes.
Yeah.
Because like we're so connected right now with the internet, social media, and everything.
Yeah.
It's really easy to spread misinformation. It's so easy.
Yeah.
And like not everyone has morals, or not everyone has the same morals as you do. So
Yeah.
it is scary. Like that's why I said we need regulations. So
Hmm.
they are also they're parallelly working on identifying AI output. Like, is
Hmm.
this image real or fake? They're also working on identifying that. So
Hmm.
I think this is where like cybersecurity and privacy and these kind of concerns roll in,
Hmm.
because it's in that area or in that field, it's always like a cat and mouse game. Like you improve your security systems,
Yeah.
the people who want to break in improve their, like, they get new tools, they figure out new stuff, how
Yeah.
to break your new techniques. So yeah, so that's why we need regulations. Like it's not
Hmm.
going to stop. We know both of these fields are gonna, or both of these applications are gonna go up against each other. We just need to make sure that they're like that the scales are tipped in the favor of identifying AI.
Yeah. There are like certain tools that are already doing this with content. So tools that can detect if your
Hmm.
content is written by an AI.
Hmm.
So ever since I think ChatGPT, people started writing their website blogs and stuff. Asking
Yes.
ChatGPT to write their blogs. So now Google can detect if your blogs,
Uh-huh.
SEO blogs, have been written by AI, and then Google will not rank your blog on the search.
Yep.
So
And then I also saw videos that are like, change these words, like make
yeah,
use
yeah.
synonyms, do that, and then
There's a way around. I do that. I do
do
the
you know
same
what's
thing.
yeah do you know what's gonna happen next?
What?
Essentially what will happen is, Google will get so good, or like
Yeah.
companies will get so good at detecting AI, they will force you to essentially write the whole article yourself.
Yeah, yeah. They'll detect if it is
So
paraphrased or not. I
yes.
think they're still doing
So
that. Paraphrasing thing they can
yes.
detect still.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I think you can still find a way
Yes.
around, and
Yes, because in your mind you're like, I need to make this more like a human wrote it.
yeah.
And what does that, like, how do I make it like
Yeah.
that, like you write it?
Yeah.
It's gonna come a full circle. It's gonna complete a full circle, and you'll be writing those blogs again.
Yep.
If Google is against AI blogs,
Yeah, good only,
which
no.
it should be.
People will hire me to
It
write the
should be.
blogs.
Yes, I think it should be, because I think if we like allow AI to create a lot of stuff, it's gonna get annoying. It's gonna be like like 90% of the internet is filled with AI content. Like humans didn't
Yeah.
make it. I don't think that would be as interesting.
Everybody will start doing it, no. फिर तो और
Yes,
competition भी बढ़ जाएगा.
yes, that would just take away the value from blogs. Like
Yeah.
people would just stop respecting blogs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
Exactly. Abhi filal anybody can start a blog. Like if I have an idea
Mhm.
that I want to start a blog on
Mhm.
something, like I want to start a cooking blog. I don't know how to cook, but I can start it.
Yes.
Because I
Mhm.
have ChatGPT, I have certain AI tools.
Yes,
You can
that's
do
the
it.
thing. You can make a blog with it. You cannot make a good blog with it.
Yeah, you cannot do
Because
that. That's
to make
true.
a good blog, you need to know what you're
Of
writing
course.
about.
But you can also research, no. There are tools that can give you बहुत सारा
Yeah,
research.
that's called writing a blog.
Yeah, technically.
That's
Yeah.
Acha, मैं like let me ask you questions.
Oh,
Like
Oh,
अच्छा
Yajurv.
ठीक है. Ask us.
हाँ. What do you think? Like where do you perceive AI going? Like what do you think will happen next from what you've seen?
Answer Gayatri.
बहुत वेग क्वेश्चन दिया है, आसानी से आंसर
Yeah.
करो, जहाँ ले जाना
हाँ,
जाओ.
और मैं बहुत वेग आंसर दूंगी.
बढ़िया.
So you both of you know that I am not from a science background.
हाँ.
The only kind of science that I've studied in college was political science.
Mhm.
So I was far, far, far away from any kind of like really deep-rooted scientific conversation, and I think you were the only person that I was having a lot of technical conversations with. So I just feel like it's just growing
Mhm.
into something that it could definitely get out of control, and the potential risks would just keep increasing. It would go out of hand,
Hmm.
and that's what I think about
नहीं,
it.
बट थोड़ा और
Yeah.
क्रिएटिवली सोचना. तुझे कोई साईफाई मूवी बनानी है, उसके हिसाब से सोच की.
हाँ.
तो क्या मतलब कुछ एक साईफाई मूवी का प्लॉट दे दे मुझे एसेंशियली, कि एआई है, ये सब चीजें हो रही हैं, और फिर ये एक्सप्लोर करेंगे हम इस मूवी में. मेरे को लाइक गिव मी अ प्लॉट.
हम फिर वो उसमें ह्यूमन बॉडी बनाने का भी एक्सप्लोरेशन स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. Like physically भी AI
Oh,
को
this
वो
is
करना चाहेंगे.
interesting. Now that you bring it up, it's interesting because अरे क्योंकि अच्छा मैं जल्दी से बता देता हूँ क्यों इंटरेस्टिंग है मेरे लिए. कल मैं लाइफ इन कलर देख रहा था, डेविड एटनबरो की सीरीज है. बेसिकली वो एक्सप्लोर करते हैं कि हाउ एनिमल्स नेविगेट दिस वर्ल्ड यूजिंग कलर्स, लाइक टू हाइड फ्रॉम प्रेडेटर्स, टू कंफ्यूज पीपल, टू मिमिक समवन for mating purposes, like अलग-अलग चीजें. And then they got to the topic ki how animals, insects, everyone like perceives reality. क्योंकि हमें कलर दिखता है. Yes, सारे एनिमल्स को कलर्स नहीं दिखता है. Like there's वो बता रहे थे कि deers are essentially red green color blind. That's why they don't spot tigers easily. क्योंकि उनके लिए वो ग्रीन होता है, उनका ऑरेंज कोट उनको ग्रीन दिखता है. बट मेरा पॉइंट ये है कि इफ वी स्टार्ट डेवलपिंग ह्यूमंस और लाइक रोबोट्स, लाइक बॉडीज फॉर एआईज, they are essentially not limited by the sensors that we have. क्योंकि हमें we perceive vision in color, right? They can perceive vision in color, in depth, in UV light. They can sense infrared. They can record audio. Like हमारे पास भी कान है, yes, okay, but they can be sensitive to noise. They can measure vibrations. Like that's a whole other field that's connected to AI, this field of sensors. But with that extra information, they like, yeah, this is the scary part, I think. That's what you were getting at, right? Ki scary hai. Okay, sorry.
So like we were talking about again the movie Her, Gayatri's favorite movie. So,
Yes.
if an AI were to exist, like there was in the movie Her, do you think we lose that human touch, or we lose that human connection and empathy that we have right now?
I hmm I wouldn't be so sure about it, because eventually what happens is, like, whenever, like, if you're dating someone, what's essentially happening is you perceiving whatever they do, right?
Hmm.
If you have a long distance relationship, what you do with them is just talk,
Hmm.
essentially, right? It's
Yeah.
based on the सबके दिमाग गलत डायरेक्शन में जा रहे हैं अभी.
कोई दिमाग नहीं
But
जा रहा कहीं
essentially
पे.
मेरा point ये है कि how the whole argument lies in perception, कि yes, you know there's an AI,
Hmm.
but like you have a limited perception of that AI. तुम सिर्फ बातें कर रहे हो उसके साथ. If the AI can nail this, like if there is such an advanced AI that can nail the human communication and that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
I don't think people will feel uncomfortable with it. क्योंकि हाँ, there's an AI, but like it will feel real to them, क्योंकि वो काम कर रहा है उसमें.
Yeah, but won't that affect the human connection that we have right now with each other? So like right now, if like I am feeling lonely, I'm feeling sad and stuff, so I'll call my friends,
Hmm.
I'll talk to them,
Hmm.
right? But if
Hmm.
AI comes, so we probably
Hmm.
might just talk to the AI. So that human connection
Yes.
will be lost if
Yes.
that
For
happens.
sure. Yes.
Yeah, that
हाँ,
was my
but
question.
that's good and bad,
Hmm.
like both. क्योंकि you need human connections because we have a world set up this way where you need human connections.
Yeah.
But eventually, maybe you don't need that. Eventually, maybe you just need to talk to an AI to like not be emotionally stressed all the time. And maybe that AI teaches you stuff while you talk to it. Maybe that improves you as a person. हाँ ठीक है, you'll become a loner. तो कोई लोग
Exactly.
नहीं होंगे आसपास. Yes, but imagine, like, maybe you still become a better person.
I don't want to be a better person in a world where I don't have my friends.
That's your take on it, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But some people, I can see some people choosing that life
Yeah.
over a social life.
Yeah.
Yajurv, I would also like to ask you to give advice to somebody who wants to get into the field of AI, who wants to pursue a course like yours.
Yes. Okay. So there are, like, figure out what you need to do, like where you want to go. That would be my first advice. In the sense that there are two approaches to learning machine learning, from what I know. The first one is like the math hard approach, ki sari maths padho, like you understand the information theory, you understand probability and statistics behind all of those machine learning models, and you do it that way, you develop your intuition that way. Or you treat machine learning and AI as a black box, कि तुम्हें नहीं पता उसके अंदर क्या हो रहा है, but you know what you will input and what the output will be. These are the two ways. First way will lead you, like, will be good for research and like it will give you a really good understanding of what's actually happening. But if you just want to work with the application and stuff, if you just want to make some cool projects and just get it working, then the second approach is good, because it takes less time.
What are your favorite AI tools right now that you use almost every day?
Unknowingly सब लोग upscaling और image better करने वाले AIs यूज कर रहे हैं. सबके पास स्मार्टफोन्स हैं अभी.
Yeah.
14 फोटो खींचती हैं एक टाइम पे, और सबका बढ़िया पार्ट लेके तुम्हारी एक फाइनल फोटो तैयार होती है. So everyone's using that. Yes.
Yeah.
As exposed to the field as I am, it's weird that I don't use that many AI tools. I don't know why. Like, matlab, I use the same tools that every like other person does in this world.
Yeah.
They just don't know that these tools are at work right now.
Yeah. And plus up
Matlab,
to
searches mein, recommendation mein, stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah. And up to even like every week thousands of AI, hundreds of AI tools at least are coming, they're being launched.
Yes.
Up to it's like pata bhi nahi itne like
There's a
ek
lot.
cheez ke liye there are thousands of tools. So it's getting crowded. The market's crowded
Yes.
now.
Also, like these tools are getting incorporated in the softwares that we already use. Just say Adobe is working on a lot of AI technology, and it's incorporating that kind of AI within its photo editing tools.
Yeah.
जैसे कि पीछे से पेड़ हटाओ इसकी इस फोटो में से पेड़ हटाओ. So
Yeah.
instead of processing it like they used to, what they're doing now is asking an AI to do it.
Yeah.
Or like for the user, it's like drag and click,
Yeah.
but an AI is working there.
Yeah, everybody is doing something, even Canva for beginners, beginner designers, whatever. Canva is also coming up with a bunch of AI tools within its tool itself, within its software.
Okay, all right. So, Yajurv, thank you so much for agreeing to do this and joining us on the podcast and sharing your insights and everything that you've learned. We really appreciate it that you shared it with us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. मेरे को मजा आया बात करके इस सब के बारे में.
Yeah,
And
I
it was
actually
exciting.
learned a
Of
bunch.
Nice.
Yeah.
We did.
So did
Yeah.
I.
We did.
Yes. All right. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yajurv, say bye.